3 years ago, I set out to construct the most powerful nootropic stack for focus, motivation, and sheer cognitive horsepower. I logged hundreds of hours, sampled endless amounts of cognitive performance chemicals, and ran beta tests with soldiers from the United States Army. And after massive experimentation and ruthless trial and error, my work had finally paid off. I found what I was looking for. Boom! The mighty Cortex has officially expanded to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is effectively part of the United States in terms of how the Postal Service looks at it. Sweden and South Africa. We'll be working on getting the rest of Africa, the rest of the country. I think it's broken up into like Central Republic Africa, South Africa, and then maybe another part of Africa. We're working on getting the entire country, but right now we can ship to South Africa. Okay, so if you're in South Africa and you've been waiting for us to expand Cortex to South Africa, we can now ship to South Africa, and we can also ship now to Sweden. If you're in Sweden and you've been waiting for us to have the optionality to ship to Sweden, we now ship to Sweden. So we are now shipping to, in addition to the US, Canada, the UK, and Australia, we are now shipping to Sweden, Puerto Rico, and South Africa. So if you've been waiting for us to be able to ship to your countries and you're in Sweden, Puerto Rico, or South Africa, now you can officially buy a bottle of Cortex. The website is set up to be able to ship, to add the shipping charges to your cart for your particular country, and we can send you a bottle of Cortex. We have had, just so you know, we've had virtually no problems. We've literally, out of all the bottles we've shipped to the UK and Canada and Australia, 0 issues with customs. It's a dietary supplement. They see the label. We explain that on the label through the customs, and everything goes fine. It's 100% awesome and legal, and it's great. We do everything by the book. It's the only way to do things. People are talking about having their merchant accounts like whacked when they sell racetams. It's like, well, yeah, that's because you're selling racetams in America, and it's a little dodgy doing that. But this is a natural nootropic. Everything's on generally recognized as safe list. It's a dietary supplement, but with very, very powerful ingredients. So Sweden, Puerto Rico, South Africa, we now have your back with the mighty, mighty Cortex nootropic stack. And moving forward, I am spending a lot of time trying to get shipping prices down for basically the rest of the countries we don't cover right now. So we want to do the rest of Africa. We want to be able to ship to China if it's possible. I know China's a little strange, and there's sort of communist country. So we don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. But then there's Holland. And I guess, Ireland. Maybe Ireland's part of Great Britain. I'm not sure, but if Ireland's, we'll get Ireland on the list. But we're trying to ship to every country now that we don't have. So I will keep you guys posted on a video on what additional countries we're able to ship to through this developmental process over the course of the next few weeks. I would say mid-March, at the very latest, the end of March, we will have Cortex shippable in most countries in the world that shipping rates are reasonable. Like right now, shipping to Australia is $18. It's worth it for people. If you need brain performance and you need a good nootropic, it ends up being worth it for people. But we're trying to just continue to get rates down. So Sweden, Puerto Rico, South Africa, we now have your back, and you can buy a bottle of the mighty, mighty Cortex nootropic stack. If you are local in the United States, if you are in Canada, if you're in the UK, if you're in Australia, we've been shipping to those countries. Snag a bottle of the Cortex nootropic stack. You're going to love it. Primarily, the best use case recently, we talked about this on the last video, is like a poker player takes Cortex and just goes there and kills it. I don't know if you've ever seen Casino Royale, the James Bond movie, Casino Royale, where Daniel Craig, the guy who plays James Bond, is at the table, and once he runs into a few problems in the beginning, he comes back and just kills it and wins like tens of millions of dollars or whatever. And he was so on point, and his brain was functioning so well. It was like, you'd think the dude was like on modafinil, Cortex. And a guy recently hit us up and said, I've been taking Cortex for several months. I'm killing it in poker, making a lot of money, and everybody looks at me and they think like, they think I'm on Adderall. They think I'm on something crazy. They know my brain is working. The guy's like the Limitless guy sitting there playing poker, making money. So snag a bottle of Cortex. This is quite the effective nootropic for all-around brain function. We tried to make it so that you take it, it's not one of those stacks that you're like, I kind of notice it. You notice it. You notice it, you function good, your brain's on point. I mean, you're like this. I took it this morning and I'm just on fire. I'll be on fire for the next 9 hours and I'll have verbal fluency to the max. Buy a bottle of Cortex, support the broadcast. You'll love it anyway. And if you're in any of those 3 countries, Sweden, Puerto Rico, South Africa, we are now shipping to you. Thanks for watching.